He said the best commencement speech. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo,
Orange days.
I'm co-signing that too. That was I don't think it was nothing bad, but I haven't heard it all, so I don't even know why I'm bothering y'all people, making y'all pissed off. And for this one, I'm gonna read it on 125.
Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support.
Oh, don't tell me they just cut it. Don't tell me y'all did that, boy, like that, man. Y'all just gonna take a little part of it. I need the whole thing. 20 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, I would like to start off by congratulating all of you for success.
Should we go 150? Yeah, we should go 150.
Making it to this achievement today. I'm sure your high school graduation was not what you had imagined, and most likely neither was your first couple years of college. By making it to this moment through all the adversity thrown your way from COVID, I hope you learned the important lessons that suffering in this life is only temporary. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society. It is through this lens that I want to take stock of how we got to where we are and where we want to go as citizens and, yes, as Catholics. One last thing before I begin. I want to be sure to thank President Minnis and the board for their invitation to speak. When President Minnis first reached out a couple of months ago, I had originally said no. You see, last year I gave the commencement address at my alma mater, Georgia Tech, and I felt that one graduation speech was more than enough, especially for someone who isn't a professional speaker. But of course, President Minnis used his gift of persuasion and spoke to the many challenges you all faced throughout the COVID fiasco and how you missed out on so many milestones the rest of us older people have taken for granted. While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of this order. Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can...
He's standing on business right now. What he's talking about, like, bro, he's standing on business. He's just a traditional person. This is somebody got a free speech, a free mind, and then soon, I mean, anything that goes against the new modern feminism wave, and you know, those rights that our founding fathers gave us, you know, just like I said, from 1 to 50, I don't even know how much it is, but freedom of speech and all that, like that is what's protecting us. That's why we ain't like these other countries, because we know we always got that to stand on. And that's why a lot of people love about America is that you got a right to get a gun, you got a right to speak freely, you know, you got a right to be silent. You like, although like in other places it's not like that, brother. You're gonna talk or we're gonna waterboard you, you know, because you shouldn't have talked. And when we broke in, we found you with a gun. You know that the military, the only people that can have guns. Why do you have a gun over here? Are you in the military? Like, they don't allow civilians to carry guns type. So what he is just standing on business. And from that first video, or the second video about that, them women, them lawmakers in there acting like that. Like, when have you seen shit like this? And when do you even got to explain to people that there's only two genders? Like, that's what I'm saying. If you're not... That's why they don't want them to read in school. Like, come on, like it's up, down, yin, yang. Like, let's keep things simple, you know? And then they did the they, them. They tested that out before they start bringing this. I'm like, yo, if I was coming over here learning English and I'm speaking correctly, progressing really well as a Mexican fella or something, and I'm like, oh, with those guys, they did that, and they like, oh no, that's just one part, or you telling me, oh, I'm bringing they or something with me. I'm like, oh, he said he bringing they, maybe it's a couple people, let me grab some extra food or something, you know? And they show up and you got all this food and it's just two people. Like, hold on, what are you talking? You said you was bringing they, where the rest of them at? Like, what the hell happening? Like, I bought 4 tickets just in case, and it's just 2. Like, come on, man. You just confusing the hell out of people. I'm sorry they're going on a little rant there.
Pro-choice.
New grandparents, boy.
From the man behind the COVID lockdowns to the people pushing dangerous gender ideologies onto the youth of America, they all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. You know, the difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained a reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths.
Look, he wasn't even going to talk. He said, if I'm coming, I'm coming.
As members of the church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately privilege to be authentically and unapologetically Catholic. Don't be mistaken, even within the church.
That's his belief.
Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There even was an award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jesuit priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet and unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of Benedict in college, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron said in his review of the film, it was exactly what the cultural elite want to see in Christianity: private, hidden away, and harmless. Our Catholic faith has always been countercultural. Our Lord, along with countless followers, were all put to death for their adherence to her teachings. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail. But make no mistake, before we even attempt to fix any of the issues plaguing society, we must first get our own house in order, and it starts with our leaders. The bishops and priests appointed by God as our spiritual fathers must be rightly ordered. There's not enough time today for me to list all the stories of priests and bishops.
Like, why ain't they coming? All this shit he talking about. Nigga, everybody's catching a stray in this speech. He ain't just see how they only blew up one part of that where he's talking about appreciating his wife and having his family while he's able to do this and that and be like they of all the shots, all the fire, he's at a firing range, right? Pow, 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 pow. Bro. And the only thing they picked up from what, like, cause the other shit he's saying, he coming at the Catholic priests. He talking about the Pope and them signing a cross during the anti-abortion. Like, bro, he's firing off. He's calling y'all degenerate. He's calling y'all bad leaders. He's saying y'all are not right. Y'all are not following the true Catholics. And he called them all out. Like, what?
Bishops misleading their flocks. But none of us can blame ignorance anymore and just blindly proclaim that that's what Father said. Because sadly, many priests we are looking to for leadership are the same ones who prioritize their hobbies or even photos with their dogs and matching outfits for the parish directory. It's easy for us laymen and women to think that in order for us to be holy, that we must be active in our parish and try to fix it. Yes, we absolutely should be involved in supporting our parishes, but we cannot be the source for our parish priests to lean on to help with their problems. Just as we look at the relationship between a father and his son, so too should we look at the relationship between a priest and his people. It would not be appropriate for me to always be looking to my son for help when it is my job as his father to lead him. St. Jose Maria Escriva states that priests are ordained to serve and should not yield to temptation to imitate lay people, but to be priests through and through. Tragically, so many priests revolve much of their happiness from the adulation they receive from their parishioners, and in searching for this, they let their guard down and become overly familiar. This undue familiarity will prove to be problematic every time, because as my teammate's girlfriend says, familiarity breeds contempt. St. Jose Maria continues that some want to see the priest as just another man. That is not so. They want to find in the priest those virtues proper to every Christian, and indeed every honorable man: understanding, justice, a life of work, priestly work in this instance, and good manners. It is not prudent as the laity for us to consume ourselves in becoming amateur theologians so that we can decipher this or that theological teaching, unless, of course, you are a theology major. We must be intentional with our focus on our state in life and our own vocation. And for most of us, that's as married men and women. Still, we have so many great resources at our fingertips that it doesn't take long to find traditional and timeless teachings that haven't been ambiguously reworded for our times. Plus, there are still many good and holy priests, and it's up to us to seek them out. The chaos of the world is unfortunately reflected in the chaos in our parishes, and sadly in our cathedrals too.
Put it on them.
As we saw during the pandemic, too many bishops were not leaders at all. They were motivated by fear of being sued, fear of being removed, fear of being disliked. They showed by their actions, intentional or unintentional, that the sacraments don't actually matter. Because of this, countless people died alone without access to the sacraments, and it's a tragedy we must never forget. As Catholics, we can look to so many examples of heroic shepherds who gave their lives for their people, and ultimately, the church. We cannot buy into the lie that the things we experienced during COVID were appropriate. Over the centuries, there have been great wars, great famines, and yes, even great diseases, all that came with a level of lethality and danger. But in each of those examples, church leaders leaned into their vocations and ensured that their people received the sacraments.
And America closed the churches and opened up the liquor stores. Keep going.
Great saints like St. Damien of Malachi, who knew the dangers of his ministry, stayed for 11 years as a spiritual leader to the leper colonies of Hawaii. His heroism is looked at today as something set apart and unique, when ideally, it should not be unique at all. For as a father loves his child, so a shepherd should love his spiritual children too. That goes even more so for our bishops, these men who are present-day apostles.
Our
bishops once had adoring crowds of people kissing their rings and taking in their every word, but now relegate themselves to a position of inconsequential existence. Now, when a bishop of a diocese or the bishops' conference as a whole puts out an important document on this matter or that, nobody even takes a moment to read it, let alone follow it. No. Today, our shepherds are far more concerned with keeping the doors open to the chancery than they are with saying the difficult stuff out loud. It seems that the only time you hear from your bishops is when it's time for the annual appeal, whereas we need our bishops to be vocal about the teachings of the church, setting aside their own personal comfort and embracing their cross. Our bishops are not politicians, but shepherds. So instead of fitting in the world by going along to get along, they too need to stay in their lane and lead. I say all of this not from a place of anger, as we get the leaders we deserve. But this does make me reflect on staying in my lane and focusing on my own vocation and how I can be a better father and husband and live in the world, but not be of it.
All right,
focusing on my vocation while praying and fasting for these men.
You think he saved it to the end?
Than me complaining. about her leaders. Because there seems to be so much confusion coming from our leaders, there needs to be concrete examples for people to look to in places like Benedictine, a little Kansas college built high on a bluff above the Missouri River, are showing the world how an ordered, Christ-centered existence is the recipe for success. You need to look no further than the examples all around this campus, where over the past 20 years, enrollment has doubled, construction and revitalization are a constant part of life, and people, the students, has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that has their attempt to rebuke and embarrass places and people like those here at Benedictine wouldn't be met with anger, but instead met with excitement and pride.
Okay.
Not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify Him. Reading that article now shared all over the world, we see that in the complete surrender of self and a turning towards Christ, you will find happiness. Right here in a little town in Kansas, we find many inspiring lay people using their talents. President Minnis, Dr. Swafford, and Dr. Zimmerer are a few great examples right here on this very campus that will keep the light of Christ burning bright for generations to come. Being locked in with your vocation and staying in your lane is going to be the surest way for you to find true happiness and peace in this life. It is essential that we focus on our own state in life, whether that be as a layperson, a priest, or religious. Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, you are sitting at the edge of the rest of your lives. Each of you has the potential to leave a legacy that transcends yourselves and this era of human existence. In the small ways, by living out your vocation, you will ensure that God's church continues and the world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about...
All right, we get into the shit. Y'all ready to get y'all popcorn? That's what trigger. If y'all... Everything else they heard, I guess, wasn't worthy enough for this shit right here, right? This got to be the worst shit ever. Like, bruh, did he just...
You what?
Did he just... motherfucker? Like, nah. They went on him off of it. Like, this is crazy. Let's hear it.
To cross the stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on the stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school.
And before he start crying, like he's giving praise to his wife like a lot of people do. Get on stage and they show love to their wife and they thank them for being their wife. You know, a wife is a role. A wife ain't just like a, you know, when you think, that's what I'm saying, a husband, you would think like if it's a man and a woman, they're walking into a door, there's a door between them and them fucking, you know, chimichangas. The man is supposed to open that door so she can go in there and get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's not that it has to. That's just what we find is proper and in good faith. What it looked like the woman got the baby and she opening the door for the man. It would look like, yo, I mean, you can still treat your man like a king if you ain't, but in this scenario, the man should always, he's stronger. It's a door, you know, like you're open the door for the woman. You would want to do that if you was walking into a restaurant. Like I said, like it's in the end, that's just a role thing. And I'm not saying like that is the main thing. I'm just saying that it could be a lot of different ways that could be inherited. Like some people say, oh, the women should cook or the man should cook. But then again, you got the same women saying, I ain't going 50-50 with no man, and he got to go 100%. So a dude gonna go 100% and you're not even gonna cook for him because you think that's not your role. Like if I got a basketball team, I need a point guard. And the point guard knows what the point guard needs to do. He needs to get assists. He needs to bring the ball up the court. I got a shooting guard. What you think I got a shooting guard in the shooting guard position for if he can't shoot? Why the fuck do I got a center down there the size of a point and he can't play the role or defend the right people the way that I need him to do so? What the fuck do you think this is? Like, what are we talking about here? It's a team in order to win a goal. And that in this analogy, I would say the goal is to win games. And that's just to be, you know, happy every day. The things, the function you eat, the bills are paid, the grass is cut, the trash is taken out. You understand? Like, it's not that they have to do it because you'll see players that can come in and play the 1 through the 5. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. We're trying to win a ship here. We win that ship. And, you know, as I'm the coach, we win a ship together. We do, you know what I'm saying? And now we're married. That's the championship, the marriage. Because it's like, I can win with you. I'm never going to trade you. I need you for this position because you're one of the best, or, you know, I'm speaking in basketball terms, but if it in woman terms, you're the best from this position or something. You know, like I can win with you. I can win with you. The goal is to win the game. not just come out here and just play. You see what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people are doing. They're just playing. And I probably should have took this off so I can get this on the big, because people are just playing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Damn, that was a good analogy. But yeah, that's what I think. So the man's just up here defending his wife, and people are up in flames about it. Like, they are like, and it's, I don't want to say they all kind of remind you of some certain type of people, but I'm like, yo, they remind me of some certain type of people, man. But let's go.
Would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
Like, why the hell do you need two dads in the house and one of them is a mom, a female? You know what I'm saying? And even if it's a woman or something, because kids imitate their environment, and it's good to set certain expectations up around them. That's why when we was getting on that teacher earlier, that's what I'm saying. You got to set a good example. You don't want to get that thing to where, hey, y'all kids are I'm in a teaching role to teach y'all and enforce things on y'all. You know, behaviors that y'all should be doing, studying, learning, spelling correctly, asking questions properly. If I'm in a class, I went to this school where we do none of that. We all just talk loud over each other, and whoever can hear us is first and all that. But then you come to another, like, you see what I'm saying? You need to enforce the children. That's why you can't have them up here calling them besties. They confuses them. Like calling your woman bro. She really start thinking y'all bros now. Like bro. I tell them, don't ever call me bro. Just like my parents always said, don't ever call me bro. Don't be saying me that shit. Don't call me bro. What's wrong with you? Like, they never played that shit like that. They never played that shit. You can't call me no bro. I'm your mom. You better call me mom. Don't ever call me even by my real name. Don't even try it. Like, so you gotta have respect, man. Make sure y'all like it, man. Follow, retweet this something. Who knows? Let's get this thing going.
She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She's the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life.
And not be of this world, but be in this world as you should be. Not be of this world. Right now, of this world is get money. We know that money, they say the root of all evil. It's a paper that controls everybody, though. Some people are terrible people when they get that money. You see the real them when they don't need nothing from nobody. And this is what they are telling women to go just strive for and not find. Why not partner up with a man who works for the other team? That's why guys sometimes they hang around some women that can help them get some women, because they might be scared to talk to them. It's good to have insight on that other gen. Like, why not? All right, I got me a man. Like I said, I got me a wife. I got me a man. She got him to take out the trash, to help pay for bills and do this, all that. And you know what the only thing the man want? He just want to hit. You know, every now and then he gonna be happy. He gonna provide, feed you. You ain't got to go work and do all that stuff that you really don't want to do. But y'all doing it because y'all feel like y'all being left out, and y'all gonna get told what to listen. If you a man of faith, it goes God, you, the woman, just like the kid. The kid's gotta listen to somebody. Gotta be led. The woman need to be led. You see, should be led, and the man has to be led by God or something, or else he is led by money. You understand? He's either going to be led by man or land. He's going to be led by God or led by money. You know, and it's just.
Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true.
New
But if you
grandparents.
asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no. As a man who gets a lot of praise and has been given a platform to speak to audiences like this one today, I pray that I always use my voice for God and not for myself. Everything I am saying to you is not from a place of wisdom, but rather a place of experience. I am hopeful that these words will be seen as those from a man, not much older than you, who feels it is imperative that this class, this generation, and this time in our society must stop pretending that the things we see around us are normal. Heterodox ideas abound even within Catholic circles. But let's be honest, there is nothing good about playing God with having children, whether that be your ideal number or the perfect time to conceive. No matter how you spend it, there is nothing natural about Catholic birth control. It is only in the past few years that I have grown in courage to speak more boldly and directly, because as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father, and as a man. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, dysfunction and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the US, and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better. I speak from experience as an introvert who now finds myself as an amateur public speaker and an entrepreneur, something I never thought I'd be when I received my industrial engineering degree. The road ahead is bright. Things are changing, society is shifting, and people young and old are embracing tradition. Not only has it been my vocation that has helped me and those closest to me, but not surprising to many of you, should be my outspoken embrace of the traditional Latin Mass. I've been very vocal in my love and devotion to the TLM and its necessity for our lives. But what I think gets misunderstood is that people who attend the TLM do so out of pride or preference. I can speak to my own experience, but for most people I have come across within these communities, this simply is not true. I do not attend the TLM because I think I'm better than others or for the smells and bells or even for the love of Latin. I attend the TLM because I believe, just as the God of the Old Testament was pretty particular in how he wanted to be worshiped, the same holds true for us today. It is through the TLM that I encountered order and began to pursue it in my own life. Aside from the TLM itself, too many of our sacred...
You know, that's a good point, because when has people's religion, like how they believe and what they deem acceptable, like, it's like if our amendments changed, or if like our First Amendment, you know what I mean? Because the laws are kind of like, think of it like this, in this analogy, the laws are like biblical text, right? And the 10 Commandments that God said, those 10 Commandments haven't shifted or altered in all this time. But now, for the first time ever, the religion is shifting on what they accept now. Like the kind of churches they'll be having. I think a pastor, he announced the first man of the house. The pastor did, it was a dude. So 2 dudes in the church, and instead of the first lady, they got the first pastor, the first man. And when is that not in Islam? I'm sure not in no other religion where they're changing of how they are supposed to praise and worship and do things and what is acceptable. Because by then, if you're going to change sacred texts and what they believe, like, that's just a new religion. At that point, it's a new religion. It's no longer the same religion. It's like when Denzel Washington in American Gangster or something, he was selling that red magic or something, and then a dude came out with blue magic or something and knocked it down half the way. And he's like, no, you got to call it something else, because that's not I stand by my product. I stand by it. You see what I'm saying? That's what God is saying. I stand by what I told y'all. I'm standing by what I told y'all I do not want y'all to do. It's not going to change now that just time has passed. No. Now, they say God is going to destroy the world because of, if y'all keep doing it. Okay. You would most certainly, let's say if you was the one making a decision and trying to stand by what your beliefs and all that stuff, and somebody kept going against it, you would put them out. Think of a kid in your house. Think about somebody, you got a basketball player. Like I said, let's go back to basketball. You got a basketball player, the point guard or the center is supposed to be guarding Joker, right? Joker. But this nigga won't guard him. He matter of fact, he won't even play on him. You like, bro, you're here for this role and you're not doing the main thing I need you to do. What are you going to do? Substitute him, take him out the game. You're done. You're not dealing with him. You kick him off the team. We need you to practice. You're not practicing. You can't play. You can't come, like, you're off the team now. You see what I'm saying? You're not coming to practice. We can't change the plan, the program, like the rules we should be following, and we can't change that, or else it's a new religion. Sprite, it can't start tasting like 7-Up. It's no longer Sprite. You can't put it down 50%, water it down, and still call it Sprite. So how are we still calling people, like he's saying, the Catholics, y'all are changing up. Y'all, how are y'all even Catholics? Christians, how are y'all even Christian by literally allowing it to be changed into something new that don't make sense?
Traditions have been relegated to things of the past, when in my parish, things such as Ember Days, days when we fast and pray for vocations and for our priests, are still adhered to. The TLM is so essential that I would challenge each of you to pick a place to move where it is readily available. A lot of people have complaints about the parish or the community, but we should not sacrifice the mass for community. I prioritize the TLM even if the parish isn't beautiful, the priest isn't great, or the community isn't amazing. I still go to the TLM because I believe the holy sacrifice of the mass is more important than anything else. I say this knowing full well that when each of you rekindle your knowledge and adherence to many of the church's greatest traditions, you will see how much more colorful and alive your life can and should be. As you move on from this place and enter into the world, know that you will face many challenges. Sadly, I'm sure many of you know of the countless stories of good and active members of this community who, after graduation and moving away from the Benedictine bubble, have ended up moving in with their boyfriend or girlfriend prior to marriage. Some even leave the church and abandon God. It is always heartbreaking to hear these stories, and there's a desire to know what happened and what went wrong. What you must remember is that life is about doing the small things well, setting yourself up for success, and surrounding yourself with people who continually push you to be the best version of you. I say this all the time, that iron sharpens iron. It's a great reminder that those closest to us should be making us better. If you are dating someone who doesn't even share your faith, how do you expect that person to help you become a saint? If your friend group is filled with people who only think about what you're doing next weekend and are not willing to have those difficult conversations, how can they help sharpen you? As you prepare to enter into the workforce, it is extremely important that you actually think about the places you are moving to. Who is the bishop? What kind of parishes are there? Do they offer the TLM and have priests who embrace their priestly vocation? Cost of living must not be the only arbiter of your choices. For a life without God is not a life at all, and the cost of salvation is worth more than any career. I'm excited for the future, and I pray that something I have said will resonate as you move on to the next chapter of your life. Never be afraid to profess the one holy, Catholic, and apostolic church, for this is the church that Jesus Christ established, through which we receive sanctifying grace. I know that my message today had a little less fluff than is expected for these speeches, but I believe that this audience and this venue is the best place to speak openly and honestly about who we are and where we all want to go, which is heaven. I thank God for Benedictine College and for the example.
I need to hear what they're going to do.
Like President Minnis, who are doing their part for the kingdom. Come to find out, you can have an authentically Catholic college and a thriving football program.
Wrap it up then.
Make no mistake, you are entering into mission territory in a post-God world. But you were made for this, and with God by your side and a constant striving for virtue within your vocation, you too can be a saint. Christ is King to the heights.
Stand. Let's go. All right. That's some good, man. That man just went crazy. He just went nuts on him. Like, yo, I don't know if you disagree with that, man. Hey, I gotta talk. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say to you, because that man he stood on his business. He stood on his beliefs, and that's something that you're supposed to do in this world. Not even just as a man, just as a stand on something or fall for anything. How many times have we heard that? Come on. The part they pick apart is talking about, because I agree. Hey, women have special skills, and they have special skills, and the skills that they have that men don't. They could go get a job and teach other women how to be women, just like it's us men out here trying to teach men how to be men and do manly things. But we can't have the women in the men's thing, because who's taking care of our women, our girls? Like, that's why we want y'all. We wanted y'all. We want to be with y'all. So, and it's something about y'all that made us want to be with y'all. But if y'all over here doing what I'm doing, how is the next generation is supposed to be looking up to like the person you was looking up to? You got to see your mom and know how to talk, be nice. You can't do that in an environment. Like, listen, when men be working together, we'll cuss somebody out, call them a dumbass and all that shit, call them stupid. We'll say the worst, we'll do the worst. You know what I mean? We more raw. You can straight up just whip it. Pee anywhere, you know what I'm saying? But when you got a woman, you like, oh, I got one girl over. I can't act like this. I can't. They not watching a tongue around no woman. They'll call you. Get there and talk. They can't talk like they really want to talk and need to talk. And I feel like that could be a problem too. It's where men should be working together and should have the freedom to say whatever they want, let their little steam off, talk bad about their wife, then go home and kiss her in the mouth and sleep, have sex with her, go to sleep, whatever. You know what I mean? There needs to be a safe place for that, even because that's how folks used to do it. They used to go to work. How was your wife? Oh, she doing this. How was y'all week? Oh, she getting on my nerve. But whatever. You know, I love her. I ain't leaving her. Blah, blah, this, that. And now you got a girl who's there just like, oh, well, this is inappropriate to how y'all talking. Now you got to sit at work. Can't even really just get your shit off. They're telling you now you need to go to therapy to do that. You know, and now on top of that, you got inflation so high everywhere that you can't even stop. You got to keep working just so you can try to have enough for next month, so to speak. So, yo, there's no room to just relax. It's less room to relax now. It is room to relax, but it's less room, and we need more room. Life ain't all about working, paying bills, and dying. Fuck that. I did an episode last night talking about the cursed blessing of a genius. And when I say genius, people who are aware. They're woke up. Like, hold on, I can't just be out enjoying everything that's happening around me, knowing that anything can happen. That scares me. If I'm unaware, I want to sit here, have a couple drinks, this, that, sit with my back to the door, not know who come in, this, that. No. Now that we know, like, hold on, I can die. I can get shot. I can get robbed. A car ride home ain't the same for the next person. You know what I mean? smoking and just not, it ain't the same. You worried about, man, do I call my mom and them enough? Do I talk to these people enough? How am I raising this? Am I doing enough of it? Like, you'll start questioning, you'll start getting too deep. Just so much things that you could just scare. You can't even enjoy yourself. You can't even have a good, think about relationships with love and females, right? So you can, even with females, like you have been hurt before. So now you're aware that how broken you can be from a heartbreak to where you don't even trust a female like that ever again, because that's what they say. They broke you and turned you into a dog, right? She broke you. Like, broke you. Your heart just beat. Like, she did the wrong thing. And now your trust is all messed up for all women. You want to go through their phone. You want to see their location. I got to know the Instagram. I got to do all that. And it makes us paranoid. Now, there's two sides of genius to it, because I mentioned many. I'm somebody that's going to be hard to throw a surprise party for, because I know I watch people's behavior. I went to school for sociology too, so I like watching people's behavior. I see they are routine type of people, and with that energy is a little bit weird. If that something's up there, hold on, you never really go out the side back there to answer a phone call. That's weird. Even though I'm over here doing all in my thing, I'm still noticing stuff that's happening over here behind me. I'm like, hold on, why is that? You can't. I'm too aware. I'm too aware. Y'all might be trying to do something good for me, but I'm gonna be the one to go over there and look anyway and mess the whole thing up. Look and be like, what is that? Did y'all move some boxes over there? Like, what's happening? Why y'all do? Before you know it, it's my Christmas present right there. I'm like, oh damn, I would have been surprised. I thought they weren't gonna get it for me or something, So that's what I said. I'm cursed with that by being so aware of everything. They always say, beware your surroundings, beware your surroundings. To the point, I'm too aware of my surroundings. I'm wearing them, I can't enjoy the moment, what you should be doing. Go in the ocean. I can't enjoy swimming in, Myrtle Beach. Probably one, because it's dirty as fuck there. But then two, because I can't see the water. Ain't no telling what could be under here. Ain't no telling this water can make me break. I'm not psycho about it at all, but I just won't do it. I'd be like, I'm good. I ain't going in there. Shit dirty. I don't even want to have to worry about what could be swimming near if it's clear water, I'll get in it, but I'm not getting in no salt water where I'm 1 foot in and I can't see my foot. Like, bro, there's crabs. This is a real beach. I need to have some socks and protection for my feet, some scuba shoes or something. Like, bro, I'm out here with my fucking feet. It could be a stingray or something. Not a stingray, jellyfish. Right there, they always coming up on shore, stinging the hell out of somebody. So I'm too aware, and that could be a bad thing. I think I forgot what movie it was, but it was the dude. They was trying to kill somebody else, but because he was so aware, he just stopped and was like, "Hold on, that shouldn't be like that." Just knows, too smart for his own good. Goes over there, boom, he dies instead of the person that was meant to do by checking his stuff, And that's another thing. Going through the phones, doing it. Like, listen. You could stress yourself out like that because you've been hurt and broken before, but you got to realize it's because you've been broke or hurting before. With a real relationship, I shouldn't, I'm not, my wife, I ain't need to go through her phone. I got her location, but do I check it? No. If it's 2, 3 or something, or she say, call me, I'm about to leave or something. Yeah. I'm all right. You got in the car, boom, you moving, you on your way. All right. She coming home now. Like, it's for safety reasons. It shouldn't be to spy on them, because you shouldn't really even be with that person then at that point. So yeah. But yeah, these new grandparents is crazy, man. Crazy. I can't believe it. Like, that's that whole thing. I want to know what triggered y'all in that part. If you're watching this, what part of that triggered you? What part of him telling them traditional men need to be able to know it's okay to show their role, to even be masculine? Because if we have like I said, our younger generation is looking up to us, and they're showing that these new grandmas or whatever ain't sitting down helping the kid read and all. They still working their ass off because of inflation and all that stuff. I'm just saying, it's the smarter choice to do it with somebody else. Hell, get 2 other people to do it. If that's what make you happy, you don't want to be committed to one, then be committed to 2. So that way you can flip flop. Go out there and get your 2 best dudes or your 2 best ladies who say, hey, you can do it by yourself. You can go 100-0. You can go 50-50, or we can all go 33 1/3. You know what I mean? And we're going to all pay these bills. Now, the household, you got a 1/3 extra income coming in. You're splitting rent. So you can look at a $2,500 house and be like, oh, I'm only paying what? Maybe 7 of that? 8 or is that? What is that? 7? No, 6, like 650, 633 probably of each. 25. No, I fucked that up. Whoa. Well, my math is off. That's 8. I'm sorry. It is. It's like 833 or something. Y'all can check me on that if my math good enough. But yeah, like we looking at $2,500 homes with 4 bedrooms, 2 garages, basement, this, that, and we only paying $800 to be here. Yeah. Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. But like I said, y'all don't want to listen to 1, listen to 2. But listen, if you got 3 in there, everybody should be, linking up when they want to link up, do their own thing. They want to do their own thing. Like, yo, make it work. Even if it's just not even sexual experience, just get with 2 people that you care for, that can watch over you. They can watch over you. They can, help you out if you need some help, that you trust that won't steal your stuff. Because you're going to come out here. When you dating these people, you never know who you going to date in roommates. That's what I say. Y'all don't live with them and all that. Y'all be in relationships but don't want to live with them. Well, okay. When you start living with them, you see how insufferable these motherfuckers live and how they are and stuff. Like, yo, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. And I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Like, this is crazy.